Hello everyone, welcome to AK Competitives. I am Mallesh Koram, and in this lecture we are going to discuss the concept of refraction. So in the previous lectures we have finished the concept of reflection. So in this we are moving for the next concept. Okay, so without wasting the time, let's get into the topic. Alright, so refraction. So what is a refraction? So refraction is a topic which is going to explain you the nature of light, how it is going to behave when it is going to change the medium. Like here in the diagram, you can consider above is one medium and below is the other medium. So when it is entering from one medium and it moving to the second medium, then how it is going to be moving. That is what we are trying to understand here. So here, let us take the two media and the interface. Interface is a kind of separation between the two. Like for example, if I take above air I can consider, below water I can consider. So the air and water, where they are going to meet exactly, that is going to be interface. And the dotted line is going to tell you normal. Normal is basically a perpendicular. Okay. So now here, so if I am going to take a light ray, so to trace the ray, what I'm trying to do is I'm taking a football, and the motion of the football is going to be exactly same as the light ray direction. Okay, so let us make the football to move, and it is going to incident at point O on the interface. Now you can see clearly, as it is moving from A to that point, it is coming straight, which is basically incident ray. And after O, it is not continuing the same path. So after O, it is going to change the direction a bit. So it is going to move to B. Now you can see incidenting at certain point and in certain direction, and when it is moving in the second medium, it is moving in some other direction. So this is the way how we are going to define the refraction. Okay. So to define refraction, what we can say? The bending of light on entering from one medium to other medium is called as refraction. This is the way how we can define. Now, how we are going to measure the geometrical things here? So like angles. So always angles are measured with respect to normal, just like in reflection what we have done. So here also you can see angle made by the incident ray with respect to normal is angle of incidence. Angle made by the refracted ray with respect to normal is angle of refraction. Okay. In case if the medium separation is not happening, if the medium is not changing, then how the ray would have traveled? The ray would have traveled according to the dotted line which is going to be shown. It moves straight away. So, but here, due to the refraction, it is bending towards the line, normal, and it is going to be moving at angle R. Is it always true that the ray bends towards the normal only? Need not to be. Sometimes it may bend towards the normal, sometimes it may bend away from the normal. I will tell you in the coming points, I will tell you when it is going to move towards the normal, when it is going to bend away from the normal. Okay, so this is what the way how we are going to define the reflection. You can see the definition. Even when the light is going to enter from one medium to other medium, it is going to change the direction. This bending phenomenon is called as refraction. Okay, so this is the basic idea how we are going to define the refraction. Let us move to the next topic called as what you can call the laws of refraction. Okay, so now here keep the diagram aside, and we'll try to think about the laws of refraction. So there are basically two laws of refraction. What are those? The first law is going to tell you as usual. So like the incident ray and the normal along with that refracted ray. Incident ray, normal and the refracted ray, all the three lie in the same plane. What do you exactly mean by it? Same as what we have discussed in the part of reflection. So when you see from side view, the incident ray and the normal and the refracted ray, all the three lie in the same plane. Incident ray, normal and the refracted ray. When you see from a side, all looks like a sheet, like a plane. So that is what we are going to say. Here all the three lies in a plane. That is what the first law. There the reflected ray, incident ray and normal. Here the incident ray, refracted ray and normal. Okay, all the three lie in same plane. And second law is going to be something like a relation between angles. There we define in the reflection, we define angle of incidence is same as angle of reflection. But here it is having a difference. Like sine of the angle of incidence and the sine of the angle of refraction, if you are going to take basically sine I and sine R, the ratio is going to be a constant. Sine of the angle of incidence divided by sine of the angle of refraction is going to be remaining constant. Then what you can call it as? This is called as Snell's law. Okay, we'll come back to it again. So what is Snell's law, how we can treat it, we'll discuss it. So this is called Snell's law, basically, you can remember. Okay, move to the next point now. So refractive index, the basic term we need to know, because I told you, right, when it is going to move towards, when it is going to move away, this is the point which is going to answer for that particular thing. Refractive index. First, let us define the refractive index. For that, I just want to take a diagram. So here, two different media I'm going to consider. Maybe above you can take vacuum or free space, and below you can take certain medium, any medium. So now, light is not going to have same speed in all the media. Light is not going to have same speed in all the media. Let us take c is the usual word in vacuum, like it is going to move with speed c, and in other medium it is going to move with v. Now a is going to be the beginning point, b is going to be the ending point, where you have taken a certain distance. Let us take a light, torchlight, and then the light rays are coming from the torchlight and moving towards the point b. Now if one is going to take t1 time, another is going to take t2 time. In vacuum it is taking t1 time. What is t1? So basically that distance divided by the c, L divided by c. Now in the second medium, t2 time it is taking. What is going to be t2 here? T2 is nothing but L by v. If you don't know the speeds values, just find the time taken by the light to travel a certain distance, then we'll be able to find out speeds. But it is going to be typical because the light is going to move with ultimate speed. It is not easy to measure the light speed just like that. Okay, but the theoretical point of view I'm telling you. So it is going to be having different speeds in different media. Now the ratio is going to be called as a particular point called refractive index. Okay, you can see here the ratio of the speed of light in vacuum to speed of light in any medium is going to be called as refractive index. Then what it indicates? It is called actually absolute refractive index. Then what it indicates? It is exactly indicating you that what is going to be the optical density of the material. Till now, density means mass per unit volume. But actually, density is not mass per unit volume, because that is the mass density. Like that, we have various kind of densities, like optical density, like electric field density, magnetic field density, something like this. So, any quantity per unit volume is going to be taken as density usually. But here, optical density refers something different. Like suppose, it is nothing to do with what you can call material mass density. Something maybe what you say, like material density might be low, but optical density might be high. Like that, optical density is going to be the one based on the speed of light we are going to define. In any medium, if the speed of light is less, then you are going to say that medium is going to be optically denser. If in any medium, if the light can easily pass through, then you can call it as optically rarer. So like this, the optical density is going to be measured by a quantity called refractive index. If the refractive index of medium is high, then the speed of light in that medium is going to be low. Okay, so this is the idea how we can define, and the refractive index is a measure of it. Okay, let us move to the next point now. So next point, we'll try to understand about relative refractive index. Okay, relative refractive index. Then what is the relative refractive index? Just the ratio of refractive index you take from one medium to the other medium, it is going to be called as a relative refractive index. And as you know, refractive index of any medium is inversely proportional to its speed. And if you take the ratio of two media refractive index, C and C gets cancelled, and you will stand with V1 by V2. Okay, and this is called relative refractive index, and this is the refractive index of medium 2 to medium 1. This is the way how we are going to say it. Okay, there are certain important points we need to understand. As all of us know, speed of light in vacuum is going to be ultimate. So any medium is having lesser the speed than light speed in vacuum. Then obviously the refractive index of any medium is more than 1, except for vacuum. What is the vacuum refractive index? Is 1. Okay, for all the other media, refractive index is going to be more than 1, and this is one point. And the next point is going to be refractive index is going to tell you the measure of optical density. Okay, if the refractive index of any material is more, then that is going to be, say, optically denser. Then the other material for which refractive index is going to be less. These are the 2 points you have to keep in mind. Now here Snell's law. I told you, right? We'll come back to it. So what is the Snell's law? Let us take a diagram where the interface, medium 1, medium 2 and incident, refracted, normal, everything is represented. Okay, here as I told you the refractive index concept, let us take medium 1 is having refractive index mu1 and medium 2 is having refractive index mu2. Okay, now here as it is passing from one medium to the other medium, in case if the medium separation is not there, it's supposed to go along that dotted line, but as the medium separates, then it is going to bend towards the normal. I told you, when it is moving from rarer to denser, it is bending towards. So we'll see that case also afterwards. So now you keep this point in mind. Then what is the Snell's law? Snell's law is basically the second law of refraction. So what it tells you, sin I by sin r is equal to constant, right? So now here, this particular sin I by sin r is found to be exactly equal to the ratio of refractive index of second medium to first medium. Second medium to first medium. What if first medium is going to be air, like free space? Then obviously the refractive index of material. Like suppose if I take the light is going to move from air or free space to any water. Then there the sin I by sin r is going to give you the refractive index of what you can call water. So this law can be utilized to find out the optical density of the material. Like the refractive index we can find just by using this Snell's law. Okay, now here let us see how we can write in expanded form mu1 sin I is equal to mu2 sin r, and it is going to be constant no matter for how many mediums you are going to write. I'll tell you in a moment. Okay, so this is the idea how you're going to find out what is going to be the refractive index and relative refractive index and Snell's law. Alright, so mu1 is the medium 1 refractive index, mu2 is the medium 2 refractive index. Like this, we can be able to find it. Now, move to the next point. So, bending of light ray, I told you, right? So, let us see the point. So, two cases we can define. When the light ray is moving from rarer to denser medium, and second case will move when the light ray is moving from denser to rarer medium. Here, same diagram I am going to consider, but here I am going to explain you the way how the bending is going to be there. Now, as you see, mu of the denser is going to be greater than mu of the rarer. Like denser medium is having higher the refractive index. Already we have seen Snell's law, right? Sin I by sin r is equal to mu2 by mu1. As mu2 is greater than mu1, what happens here? Sin I is greater than sin r. So, I is greater than r. Then, this clearly tells you refracting angle of refraction should be small. That means it bends towards the normal. So, when the light ray is moving from rarer to denser medium, after refraction it bends towards the normal. This is the first point which is going to be explained by this. Okay, so now what is the difference angle is called? The angle changed by the light ray in refraction, there I am representing with delta I, is called as angle of deviation. Are you able to understand? The angle bent by the light ray is going to be called as angle of deviation. Okay, if the refractive index is going to be more, then the angle of deviation will also be more. Okay, this is what we have to understand in this case. Let us see now what is delta formula I minus R. Okay, so this is the first case. Let us move to the next case. So next case what? Next case we are going to understand what happens if the light ray is moving from denser to rarer medium. Suppose if you put a torchlight in water and you are trying to see from outside, then from denser to rarer it is coming. Okay, now here the diagram I am going to take in same way. So but this time you can observe here, so angle of refraction is greater than angle of incidence. How we can get it? Same concept again. Rarer medium refractive index is lesser than denser medium refractive index. When you take the ratio, sin I by sin r is mu2 by mu1. But here, what is mu2, what is mu1? First medium, second medium are going to be different. So now clearly it's going to be evident that I is less than R. Okay, again angle deferred is going to be called as angle of deviation. So this is the way how we are going to define what you can call this bending of light ray on changing the medium. So two cases, when it comes from denser medium to rarer medium, it is going to bend away from the normal. When it is coming from rarer medium to denser medium, it bends towards the normal. So this is the way how we can understand this particular concept. Move to the next point now. Snell's law in modified form. Like little more details we need to move in order to remember this, because exam point of view, like any entrance exam you take, this plays a major role from refraction concept. That is the reason why I have given you this. So now here sin I by sin r is equal to mu2 by mu1. So refractive index of medium 2 by refractive index of medium 1. Now here If the speeds are going to be v1 and v2 in first and second medium, then it is going to be v1 by v2. Why? Because refractive index is inversely proportional to speed of light in that particular medium. This is how we are going to write it. Fine. So next one. So it is also clear that there is some equation called Cauchy's equation, which is going to tell you the refractive index is inversely proportional to the wavelength of the light. Refractive index is inversely proportional to wavelength of the light. That means here you can also write how this in terms of wavelength also. Okay, this formula you have to remember in order to do the numerical problems in entrance point of view. Fine. So let us move to the next point. Next point here, one note I just wanted to give you. So that I was saying, right, Cauchy's equation you can see here. So according to Cauchy's equation, mu is equal to 1 plus a by lambda plus b by lambda square, and so on. Actually it goes on. So here it is inversely proportional to lambda. Snell's law for multilayer refraction. Like suppose above air and below if I take water, and below glass if I take, like three mediums we are going to have in a stack. Then if the light coming from air incident on water, and then it is incidenting on the glass water interface, then how the refraction can be done? Like you can say here, you can see in the diagram clearly, above you can take air, in between the first and second you are going to consider water, and in between second and third you can take what you can call glass, and below in some other material. Like this if you have. So the refractions you can take at every point. Obviously if the second is going to be denser than the first one, then it bends towards the normal. If the second is going to be rarer than the first one, then it bends away from the normal. So it applies for each pair of materials at each interface. Okay, so that is what you have to keep in mind, and by keeping that in mind, according to Snell's law we can write, this is the way how we can be able to write it. Okay, so you can see clearly sin I by sin r, for each one you can be able to write it. From all the equations it is very clear. In case if the last medium and the first medium are going to be same, then final angle of emergence and angle of incidence are going to be same. Okay, this is the way how you are able to understand this particular phenomenon. In each medium, suppose 1 to 2 it entered, 2 to 3 it is going. So at the first interface, what is the angle of refraction? That will be the angle of incidence at the second interface, in case if all the interfaces are parallel to each other. So we'll be having situations like in prism, which is not going to be same. Okay, but in case if parallel, that you can be able to use as a geometrical support. Okay, so this is the idea, and clearly Snell's law you can write sin I by sin r is equal to constant for each particular interface or pair of materials when you're going to consider. Okay, this is the Snell's law, what you can understand. Let us see a problem on the Snell's law. I hope the theory part is going to be clear, and now we'll see a problem here. So let us take the diagram for the problem. What does the problem explain? A ray is going to be incident at an angle of 60 degrees on the layer of water. The angle of deviation when it is going to be in glass medium. Okay, see in the problem, above is going to be air and water, then the glass. Refractive index for first refraction. For first refraction you can take for first refraction, what you are going to say? For first refraction here, angle of incidence I is equal to 60 degrees, and R you have to find. R1 I will take, I1 I will take. Now sin I1 by sin R1, mu of water by mu of air. Okay, sin 60 divided by sin R1 is equal to, what is going to be mu of water? Mu of water is given as 4 by 3 by mu of air is, we know that 1. Then what is going to be sin R1? Sin R1 cross multiplication 3 by 4 when I take on the other side, multiplied by sin 60, which is root 3 by 2. Sin R1 is equal to 3 root 3 by 8. Fine. By this R1 we are going to get it. Now R1 we got it. So what is asked value? The angle of deviation when it is in glass medium. For second interface, I2 which is equal to R1. Okay, from there you find out what is going to be R1. Then immediately you can use what you can call sine I2 by sine R dash, which is equal to mu of glass by mu of water. Like this, you can step by step you can solve, you will get all the values. Otherwise, directly you take sine I1 by sine R dash, which is equal to mu of glass by mu of air. Okay, directly Snell's law you can apply for air to glass. You can ignore the medium which is in between. This is what the topic last I told you, right? So like this you can use Snell's law to find out solution for such problems. Okay, so this is the idea of solving the problems on this concept. We can do more number of problems. I'll make a separate video of problem solving on this concept. Okay, so along with all the previous topics even. So in this video, so the concept I explained and one problem I have covered. So in the coming video, we are going to move on to the next levels of refraction concept. Okay, so this is the concept for today's lecture. I hope all of you like the video. If you like it, please like the video and share to others. And please don't forget to subscribe the channel if you are new to the channel. And thank you all. We'll meet again in the next session with one more interesting concept.